All right, so after the 30th, it's the 31st that you have asked me to do. So it says, which of the following is most cost effective and secure in transmitting private and confidential message and notice among the employees of an organization? Yeah, so like they are asking which of the most cost effective and secure transmission, private and confidential messages and notice among the employees of an organization. So electronic notice board, no. Teleconferencing means like the audio communication, like conference call, right? Which is not a social network, not a website, because all these things are like public for everyone. So the best answer that we can go is the email, right? So the answer is going to be the third one, email. 32nd, consider the following characteristics: autonomous, perform in a dynamic environment, function restricted to a time period, interact with highly increasing information. And they're asking which of the above are characteristics of a software agent. So like when it comes to the software agent, I told you, it's better you think about a man, a human, right? So autonomous, yes, it is a character of a software agent. Performs in a dynamic environment, again, yes. Function restricted to time period. Not actually, functions are not restricted to time periods. It is like if they are working in a dynamic environment, they can't restrict things for a time period. We don't know when it is going to change. So this is not a characteristic. Interact with highly increasing information, of course, that means changing. So A, B, and D. Fourth one is going to be the answer. And 33rd, ubiquitous computing is not in your syllabus now, people. All right. So according to this, ubiquitous computing will be useful in applications such as, hold on. Yeah, the answer should be the first one. Anyway, it is not in your syllabus. You can take all marks for that, right? And 34th, consider the following terms: input, output, process, storage. Which of the above are essential for a system? Now, that's a primary question, people. For any system, you should have an input, and that input will be processed, and there will be an output. So it's only A, B, C. Storage is not a part of the model of a system, right? So model of the system is like input, process, and output. That's all. Right? The second one is going to be the answer. Okay. Then 37th. That's in the other page. Yes, 37th. Okay, an HTML question. So what they're talking about here. All right, so it's a table which has 2 rows and three columns, right? So you should have 2 TRs in the code, and these things, the first TR should have THs because time seems to be a header, bolded and center line. This is also bolded and center line. This is also bolded and center line. So all 3 things are THs. These 3 things are table data or a table description, right? And if you think about the caption, timetable is acting as a caption. So if you consider about the first, like let's go with all the answers, right? Here, the first one is going to be an incorrect because they have used the caption earlier. We can't use the caption earlier. It's not going to work. Caption should be inside, like after the table tag. Here, caption is used before the table tag. So one is out of context. And the second one, yeah, here the table is okay. Caption is okay. They have taken a TR. Here they have used TDs. So it is wrong. Second one is wrong again. Third one, table okay. Border 1 must be there. Some value should be there for border. And they have just put the word timetable without any caption. So caption should be here. All right. So because of that, third one is wrong. Fourth one, table border is okay. Caption is okay. TR is okay. Here they have taken TH, which is okay. TR is closed. Next TR is open. TD, 3 TDs are there. So that is correct as well. TR is okay. Table is okay. So the fourth one is going to be the answer. Correct one. Why the fifth one is rejected? Again, the caption. This is taken earlier. So it is not going to affect. Okay, people. Is it clear up to this point? All right. So we are moving to the 38th one. Consider the following XML. XML is out of syllabus, people. So you can take all marks for this. Don't worry about the XML. XML is a different language. 39th. Yeah, the HTML tag ahref Sri Lanka.html target underscore blank Sri Lanka. So it is about defining a particular link. And once we click the word Sri Lanka, we will be directed to this particular page. And that page will be open in a new window or a tab. How we can recognize it? This value will recognize this. Right? So if it is underscore blank, it means a new window, a blank window, a new tab. If it says underscore self, it's going to be the same window or the same tab. So they ask, renders the document name Sri Lanka.html by a browser on a new window. Not in same frame, not in same window, not in a window named blank, not in a frame called blank. It is in new window or a new tab. All right. Then the 43rd. Okay. Right. So in 43rd, it says, what flow control structure are used in the flow chart? So these things indicate a sequence, right? Things or the instructions happens one after the other, right? And you can clearly see there is an iteration on here. And that iteration is stopped by this condition. This is the one which helps to go away from that iteration. That means this is an iteration condition, as well as you can see the iteration. And if you think about this is clearly a selection, right? If the condition is true, it will be connected to here. If the condition is false, it is connected to the same place, to the common place. So if you had that kind of a nature, we tell it is a selection. Right? So everything is there. Sequence, selection, and iteration. 44th, which of the following statement Yeah. So Nadi, I'll go for the 42nd. Yeah, in 42nd, it says, which of the following statements about relational databases is correct? Right? They're asking a value of a composite key of a table can be null. Composite key, so it's better they say composite primary key. If they are talking about a composite primary key, that cannot be null. So it is incorrect. Null values are allowed in any column of a table. We can't say any column of a table because primary key column will not allow you to have null values, right? Because of that, it cannot be a correct one. Two or more columns of a table can be combined to create a primary key. Of course, two or more columns of a table can be combined to create a primary key. Of course, that is what we call composite primary keys. Value of a foreign key of a table cannot be updated. No, it can be. It can be. No worries. This can be updated. Once created, the structure of a table cannot be altered. No, definitely we can. We can change the structure of the table in many different ways. We can add a column. We can delete a column. We can change a column name. We can change the data type that that column is referring to. Right? So you can't say cannot be altered. So it is wrong as well. It's a third one, the answer. So now they got it. Okay. Right. So for the 44th, they are talking about which of the following statement about the algorithm represents by this flowchart is correct if the user inputs value 6. Now, if the user inputs value 6, what is really going to happen? So they start, this is the place that you are going to have 6. So that means X is going to become 6, right? Because they say if the user inputs 6. So it is done. I is 1. Right? Then it asks a question if I less than or equal X. Yeah, I is less than X. X is 6. I is 1. So we are on the yes part. Then it checks whether the remainder of X divided by I equals to 0. So X divided by I, that means 6 divided by 1. Yeah, remainder is 0. See, 6, remainder is 0. So it is yes as well. It says print I. That means output. Printing means your output in the things. So print I, that means 1 will be printed on your screen. Then it goes and add 1 to the I. So I will become 2. it asks the question again, I less than or equal x, I is less than, it is 2. And the remainder of x divided by I equals 0. Now x means 6, I is 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3 is the answer, no remainders. So again, it is yes. So it prints I. That means it will print 2. Right? Then I's value increases by 1. That means I will become 3. So it checks again over here whether the I is less than or equal x, I is less than x, I is 3. And here now 6 is divided by 3. And no remainders is happening. That means it is going the yes part and print I means 3. And then value of I is increased. That means I will become 4. Still I is less than x. So it is in the yes part. Remainder of x divided by I. So remainder x divided by 4. There is a remainder, right? So it is not equal 0. That means it is on the no part. Still, I should be increased by 1. That means this is 5. And it is 5. It checks again. I is less than x. I is 5. 5 is less than 6. Yes, of course, it is correct. Again on the yes part. Now they check 6 divided by 6. Right. So no quotient, no remainder. That means goes on the yes part and it prints. Right. So that means 5 is going to print. Not 5. I'm sorry. 6 is going to print. Right. Earlier I becomes 6. Right. Then I comes and increase by 1. So I become 7. And after that, they are going to check this I is less than or equal x. I is not less than now, not equal as well. Right. So the output is going to be 0, 2, 3, and 6. So let's come to the answers. It stops when the value of I is equals to 6. Value of I equals to 6, it is not stopping. Still, it is continuing. When I becomes 7, then it continues. So this is correct. I'm sorry, incorrect, because value of I goes up to 7. Second says it prints the value 4 as one of its output. No, this is the output. It does not print anything like 4. It prints the value 2 as one of its outputs. Yes, of course. Third one is correct. Fourth, it prints all the integers from 1 to 6. It prints all the integers. No, not all the integers. Again, it prints all the integers from 1 to 5. Again, it is not. Right, so the correct answer is the third one. People, is that clear? Okay. Right. So 40, 50 is not requested. Then I'm going to the 46th. Yeah, in 46th, they're asking, consider the following statement about Python data types. Tuple consists of ordered number of value separated by a commas. Yes, because tuple is something like this, limited from parentheses, and it has right, these indexes are there, so it is true. A dictionary comprises of an unordered set of key colon value pairs separated by commas and enclosed by curly braces. Definitely correct. That's the definition or the explanation regarding a particular data structure called dictionary. And C says a value in a tuple can be modified as in a dictionary. That is wrong. Values can be modified, the values inside the dictionary as well as the values inside a list. All other data types cannot be edited. That means they are in immutable type. I'm sorry, yeah. The dictionary and list are mutable. Venas karanna puluwan. Other things are in immutable type. Venas karanna baha kiyana. Right? So it's only A and B. Fourth one is the answer. Okay, Nalindi, yes, I will go through the 45 as well. Consider the following assignment statements in 45th. A, B, it says Nimal and 30. So A will be getting Nimal, B will be getting 30. So it is correct. B, A comma B equals 1. Here, this side has two variables. This has only one value. So it gives you an error. And in here, 1 is assigned to the B, B is assigned to the A, which is correct. And D, A is assigned with the value true. Here, the value true indicates the Boolean value true. Satya kiyanage. Right? Boolean value true kiyanake, first letter should be capital. Then rest of the things are going to be the simple ones. So due to that, this is correct. A is given a Boolean value. But this is wrong. There is nothing called true, like in all simple. And if you want to have something like this, it's better you present it as a string within single quotes or maybe within double quotes. So it is okay. Right. So here it is wrong. A equals true. It says string is there without defining that particular thing. Right. So this gives an error as well. So A, C, and D. Yeah. The third one. Yeah. Right. So 47. Right, in 47th, it is asking which of the following Python program is syntactically correct. Syntactically correct. Let's see. For I in, they have given a list, so we can use a list inside the for loop, no worries. And we put a colon. And next one is the comment. This comment is not a part of the program, so this does not need any indentation. But for sure, this should have some indentation since it is the first line of the for loop. Right? So because of that, this is wrong, syntactically incorrect. Here, the colon is missing, so syntactically incorrect. This is for I in. They were like this list can be taken into the for. I will represent the things inside the list and generate the multiplication of table I. No worries, no influence from that. print multiplication table of, then they have said I. Here they have done the indentation correctly, so it is correct. And the next four, j in range 1, 12, that is correct. And there should be colon as well, so it is also correct. Then after, at least one line should be indented. That is also correct. And then printing is happening. So third one should be the answer. Fourth, what's the incorrectness of the fourth? For I in this particular thing, colon is there. Generate the multiplication of I, that is correct. This is correct and this is correct. Print multiplication table of I, correct. The chain range 1, 2, colon. That is okay. Oh, what is wrong with the fourth one? Okay, here they are. A silly one. Colon is there at the end of this print statement. So because of it is wrong, this is wrong. And fifth one, what's going to be the incorrectness? It's over here as well again. Unwanted colons are there. Right, so the third one is going to be the answer. People, is it clear up to this point? Okay. Then the 48th, I think 48 is at the big question regarding the searching techniques. Right, so you don't need to really bother about that. Right, so just give up the 48, right? 48 again, answer right? We can't argue with it. It's a huge algorithm that we have. You go for the 47th. I'm sorry, 49th. Consider the following Python program. It's a definition that they are having here, def, which indicates that this is going to be a function name, and this is going to be one particular parameter is watching, or like is ready to request. And from here to here, they will just read the things, but nothing will be executed. To execute, this function need to be called. So that function calling statement is over here. Right, so they use the name, and then this will be to this particular position, which means A. Now A equals five, 23, 10, minus 3. I miss a one name. Right. So A equals 5 to 23, 10 minus 3. Right, and when A got that, then these things are going to be executed. So it says I, C, and J. I is going to have 1. C means A0. what is A0? These things have indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so I means 1. For I, they ask you to have 1. For C, they ask you to have A0. A0 means 5. A0 is 5. Then J is given the value 0 as well. Then here, you are finding a new function, len A. Len stands for, len means like it will count the items inside a particular structure. Right, so len A means it will count these things. There are 5. So len A indicates 5. So it's a while I less than 5, I means this particular one less than 5. Yes, of course, it is less than 5. That means the while is correct. So they are coming onto the ground, like the inner side of the while. It says if AI larger than C, the value of I is 1, AI means A1. A1 means what? This. Right? A1 larger than C. C is 5 for the moment. So it is not correct. This is not correct. That means this is not happening. This is not happening. Right? So I will be increased by 1. I become 2. Right? And once I has become 2, it checks this again. If A2 larger than C, A2 means this, that means 23. So it checks whether 23 is larger than C. C means 5. Of course, that is correct. It is correct means this is correct means AI will be given into the C. So AI means A2 for the moment. A2 means 23. 23 will be given to the C. That means 23 over here. Right? And I is given to the J. Value of I is 2 for the moment. It is given to the J. And then value of I is increased by 1. This will become 3. Right? Then goes up again. From here, it always goes here. I is 3, so I is less than len A. 3 is less than 5. Yes, it is correct. If AI larger than C, A3 means 10. A3 means 10, larger than C. C means 23 for the moment. So 23. So this is wrong. So this is not happening. This is not happening. Right, then value of I will increase by 1 again. So it's 4. So it goes for the if condition again. Before that, they will check the while I is less than len A. I means 20. No, I means 4. Less than len A means 5. Right, so it is true still. If AI, that means A4, A4 means minus 3, larger than C, definitely minus 3 is larger than C, C is 23. So again, this is wrong. This is wrong. Right, and I will be increased by 1. That means 5. Now goes up and check the condition, which is in the while I less than len A. I is not less than len A now. Len A is 5. I is 5 as well. right? So it ends and comes to this particular place, return J. To where it is going to return? To this particular place. All right, so returning J will return the value of J, which is 2. The answer is going to be the fourth one. Is it the fourth one, people? Let me check. Yeah, so 49th, the answer is the fourth one. So it is correct. People, is that clear? Did you got the points? Right, okay. So the last one, 50th, it's the something regarding the file operations. So what they have done here is they have created 2 file objects, just like the previous year question. F1, that is for the input text, which is open only for reading. And then the F2 for the output.txt, which is only for writing. Right, so this is the reading file. So it says for line in F1. Right, so when a for loop is associated with a file object, what is happening is first line of the file will be assigned to the variable of the for loop. Right, so now this is the one which refers as line. And it says take the line, strip it. Strip means what? Lead in, yeah, lead in empty places and the tail in empty places will be taken out. And then it says split, right? So it is going to split from the comma. So when it is done, data will be giving you something like this. It is very similar the one that we have done for the 2011. Right? So this is the one that you are going to receive. So it says convert data 1 to float, convert data 2 to float. So data means this. Right? So data 1. So the indexes are coming like 0, 1, 2. Data 1 means this one. And data 2 is this. So that means 30.0 plus 60.0. Total is going to be 90.0. And it says f2.write. That means they are trying to write a new file. Cursor is at the beginning. Now, this is something you have to remember, right? It was there in the book. Percentage 7s. Percentage 7s means string. which has 7 characters. Right? This should be the string which has 7 characters. That means when writing, there it will write, or it will keep the space for a string which has 7 characters. It's a 7 character number, letter or a phrase or a string. Then they got this hyphen in the middle. That hyphen will come over here, this hyphen. Right, then percentage 4D will give you, will convert any value into an integer. D means decimal, right? So yes, percentage 4D, it's going to be over here. Right, so for this says integer. And who becomes this string and who becomes this integer? It is given over here. Data 0 will become a string, total will become the integer. So data 0 means this position. So according to this, it's Nimal. So Nimal will be here, and it will have a dash, and total, which is 90.0, but from this percentage 4D, it converts into a decimal, not a floating point value. That means 90 will be here. Right? So that is what is happening due to a one particular iteration. Right, then it goes back and checks the line. Line means the line checks the F1. F1 has another line. Right, then the output will be Saman dash 125. Last one is going to be Upali dash 180. Right, that is going to be your answer. Yeah, the second one. People, was that clear? Aulamai, is that clear? Okay. Right, so see how much you got out of 50, and give me a second, I'll be right back. So meanwhile, send me the marks for the first paper. Right, Lalindi, that's a good mark. Keep it up. Sanadi, that's a good mark. Mihin, that's a good mark. Keep it up. Right. Try to reach 45. Right, Devni, very good. Keep it up. All right. Let's move to the next one, people. The structured paper. I'll go by the marking scheme as well, because it will be much easier for us to discuss in case if we need to do any discussion, we'll see. Yes, the first question is, let me take the paper as well. Yeah, this asking give two techniques used in operating system to optimize processor utilization. Yes, it is. There are two particular things, which is multi-programming and time sharing. Right, multi-programming will allow you to run different amount of programs at the same time. Right, and operating system is the one who's deciding which one is going to run in the CPU at what time. And time sharing means it is again allowing you to run different amount of programs on the RAM at the same time. And again, each and every process will be given a specific time to run inside the CPU. Right? If they cannot, by that time, if they cannot finish, they have to come and wait and take another time and go and run inside the CPU as well. So they do this again and again until their task is done. Tinura, not multitasking. Multitasking goes with the users kind of things. That means user can do many tasks. It's when it comes to the OS point of view, it should be multi-programming. Right? Page filing, I don't think. It's regarding some kind of memory technique. Right, I'll go through the page filing, but I don't think page filing will be a good answer for that. Right, so 4 marks for those 2 points. And in here it says, the following shows a part of the result obtained by executing the ping command. Now, ping command is not in your syllabus, but even though it is not in your syllabus, you can like go through this and find out what they are asking for, right? So I'll go through this. I'll give you the marks where it is not relevant to you. So they have run the pin command, and this is the result that they have received, right? So it is asking, using the above information, answer the part 1, 2, 3, and 4 given below. What is meant by the time in the above result? So you can't answer for this. Time means the round trip time. Round trip time means, just for your knowledge, when a small data travels from one point to another point and moves back. This is what you call the round trip time. The time taken to reach to a specific point or a specific device and comes back to the origin device. That is what you call the round trip time. And it is not in your syllabus, people, right? So you can have the marks for that. And then they are asking, what is the IP address of the server that hosts the website www.cam.ac.uk? So it can be revealed from here, right? So this is the IP address that it is illustrating you. It's the only IP address in the diagram, right? At every place, it's 131.111.8.46, right? And the next part, what they are asking is, identify the class of the IP address obtained into above. Yes. So 131, here we really don't have any clue of recognizing how many net ID bits are there and how many host ID bits are there. Since they are asking a class, we have to go with the very, like the only fact that we have, which is this, right? So 131 falls under the range 128 to 191, which gives you a class B address, right? Then in the fourth one, they are asking, what is the percentage of packet loss? So packet loss can be managed over here. It says 5 packets transmitted, 5 packets received. So pahak yawa, pahak kawa. Nothing has been, nothing is lost, right? So the loss is 0%, right? So that is how the way that you are going to answer this. So if you haven't done that part, doesn't matter, because it is totally regarding the ping command. So you can have the marks, right? So these 4 marks will be given to you since it is out of syllabus. And I'm sorry. In the last one, they are asking about, they have mentioned you the status of the of an OS, of a process actually. Status are given. They are asking the question over here, from which of the above states can a process be directly moved into the block state? So if you are in the blocked state, right, blocked can be reached by the state of running, right? It is due to a input-output wait. As well as blocked can be reached from swapped out and blocked. It is due to activation. Right? Yeah, those are the places where we can reach the block, right? And the answer said the same thing, right? Yeah, run in and swept out and blocked status, right? So if you run, if you have written that correctly, you can take 2 marks. Okay, just see how much you got out of 10. So in the second question, they are asking, provide a suitable definition for a system. So they have given different kinds of definitions, but these things should be there. In the first one, they says, a system is a group of interrelated interacting resources forming a common goal or forming a specific task, right? Or else you can say a purposeful collection of interrelated components working together to achieve a common objective or a common goal, right? So if you have that meaning, you can have that marks, right? So they have given you 2 marks for that. And the next question, next part, using the definition suggested in above, show that a mobile phone is a system, right? So in that case, you have to talk about these things, right? I think I have asked you to do these things at the class when you are doing the questions, right? How we are going to write this? So we have to say it like this. When we are going to argue within these 3 components, right? So we have to say mobile phone is a system or is a device which has what? Screen, buttons, SIM card, etc. Kind of components. And they are interrelated and interacting when communication happens which is the common goal or the objective, right? So it should have that idea. So you should say there are resources like these things, they are interrelated and interacting when they are achieving to their common goal, which is the communication. Right? So that idea should be there in your answer. Is that, did you get that, people? How we are going to answer something like that? Yes, everyone? ළමයි තේරුම් නැද්ද? No worries, no worries. ළලින්දි point form ලිව්වට ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. You can write it, no worry. But there should be a connection, right? Resources. These are the resources that the phone has. And then the second point you are saying, these resources are interacting and interrelated when it is achieved the common goal, which is the communication. Right? Likewise, you can go. No worries. Okay, so they have given 1 mark to talking about for the talk of the resource interrelatedness, interacting things, right? And then another 1 mark to saying that it is being achieved the common goal, right? So 2 marks for the entire part B. And moving to the part C. In the part C, that what they are asking is, state whether a mobile phone is a closed system or an open system, justify your answer. So we can clearly say mobile phone is an open system. The reason is mobile phone interacts with its environment, right? So it is an open system. Closed means there are very little interaction or like no interaction with the environment. So mobile phone is not like that. It is always interacting with the environment, right? Signal is going through the air to the signal tower. From that signal tower, it will reach many other towers and then finally reach to the receiver. So it interacts with the environment, that means. Right, so open, in the justification, the considering parties interacts with the outside world. But remember, interacts with the outside world is not sufficient for your answer. Open, and when you are writing a justification, it is an open system because mobile phone is interacting with the outside world. Right, it's better you write the complete answer. Right. Then they are asking, state the following requirement of mobile phone are functional or unfunctional, justify your answer. The user shall be able to make a call using the mobile phone. So it is a functional requirement. Why we are saying it is functional? Because like making a call is something that the user is expecting from the system, right? So functional requirement means something that user expects from the system or something that is provided from the system, right? System එක දෙන දේ නැත්නම් user බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ, right? So when you are writing the answer, you have to have those components or like those points, right, in your answer, right? So you can say functional requirement making a call is a function, or like is a thing which user expects, right? So likewise, you can give a particular answer. Right? Then the second part, it is asking, shall not harm the user by emitting the radiation. Now, it is something, or particular, it describes a limitation. It should not harm. It's talking about the security which is given to the user. Having the radiation, or like emitting the radiation, will not influence or will not affect of the functions, right? So phone call එක ගන්න පුළුවන් if it emits the radiation or not. It doesn't matter, right? So without a problem, we can say it is a non-functional requirement, right? So then you can say this is something, or this is a limitation which is given by the, or which is illustrated for the system. People, hold on a second. Right. So yeah, in the marking scheme, they haven't give you any model answer. They say like non-functional. They describe, say they like pinpoint the places, like saying it is a limitation or a constraint. Okay, people, is that clear? What should be the way that you are going to go? Okay. So 2 marks for saying functional and for the description. Saying that is functional, it will give you 1 mark. Saying it is the describing why it is like that, they have given you 1 mark. And for saying non-functional, you have given 1 mark, and the justification gave you 1 mark again. Right, so that sum up the second question. See how much you got out of 10. Third question is from the Python, right? So like when it comes to the exam history, this is the first time they were asking a Python related one in the structure, right? And you people also seems to be getting something like this, right? So please get ready, all right? Okay. So in the third part, in the third question, the A part, they're asking describe how you would determine whether a given positive integer is odd or even. All right. So it's a simple scenario that we need to say. We take the number divided by 2. If the remainder is 0, it is even. If not, it is odd. Right? Or you can describe it on the other way around. Once the number is divided by 2, if the remainder equals 1, it is an odd, otherwise it is even. Right? You can go like that. Right. Then the second part, it is asking develop a flowchart to represent an algorithm based on the method suggested above in 1 to decide whether a given positive integer is odd or even. So it's a simple thing. So you have to start. You have to read a positive integer or take a positive integer, obtain a positive integer, enter a positive integer. Then you have to say that the remainder of the input, like you can simply explain that, right? Divide the integer by 2 and take the remainder and consider it as x. Or you can say it like this, x equals remainder of the input divided by 2. ළමයි මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. Right, ළමයි. Sorry for that. පොඩි එක්කෙනා පොඩ්ඩක් ආව ඇඳගෙන. Okay. So you can start, you can take a positive integer and you have to say how the remainder is taken, right? So divide the number by 2 and take in the remainder, right? And here as the condition, you can take it in the two ways. You can ask it either x equal 1, or you can ask the question whether x equals 0, right? As well as you can ask the question whether x is not equal 1. එහෙමත් අහන්න පුළුවන්. Right? If it is not equal 1, if it is true, it's going to be an even number. If it is false, it's going to be an odd number. නැත්නම් අහන්න පුළුවන් x not equals 0 කියලා අහන්න පුළුවන්. So if it is true, then odd number. If it is false, then even number. Likewise, you can go in on any ways. Right, then you can reach the end, right? So when you are drawing the flows, it's better you connect flow with the flow. That is what I'm encouraging you to do. Right, මෙතනට ගෙනල්ලා connect කරා නම් වඩා හොඳයි. Right, there is no wrong of connecting it over here, but so the explanation has given you 1 mark, and the flow chart is given you 2 marks maximum. Right, and they are asking you to write the flow chart. Then you have to start it with a start or a begin. The same thing, read a positive number, the one that you have written in the flow chart. Then divide the number by 2 and get a remainder. And then you have to use the if-then structure. Right, they have taken if the remainder equals 1. So in these cases, you can represent it mathematically as well. Right, අපි කරානේ ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් මතකනේ. You can say if remainder equals 0, then you can write the things. Then else you can write what is not. They have used begin and end over here. That is not a must, right? But you must have the final end or the stop. Right? So for the output, it's better you use display or output kind of words. People, is that clear? All right, so the B part is just a calculation, right? So what they're asking you to do is they're asking you to show what happens with the 15 minus 5. So you have to write how the 15 is represented over here. Then how the 5 is represented. So for the representation of 15, they have given you 1 mark. For this part, they have given you 1 mark. For the representation of 5, they have given you 1 mark. Complementing it and adding a 1 and taking the answer, they have given you another mark. And adding these things up, they have given you 1 mark. And saying that you are going to ignore the carry bit, they have given you 1 mark. And when you add in these things, remember to put the plus mark and indicate that you are adding that, right? That is a must. Oh, it's nice.
And this one.
Okay.
And this one. This one.
Right.
The big one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, see how much you got out of 10 people. That's the end of the third question.
Oh, I guess this one.
People, do you need me to work this out? Is there anyone? Binary I don't think we should go to that particular places. I think you know about it. Right, but in case if you are not confident with that, let me know. Okay. Moving to the fourth question. They are asking some particular terms to be explained. What do you mean by the terms privacy and software piracy? Right, so privacy means protection of personal information in computer data bank from abuse. Right, so that idea should be there. It is protecting being abused. The personal informations are protected without being abused. Right. And piracy means using a software illegally. Right. It can be a distribution of softwares. It can be a copying of that particular softwares. Right. It can be a usage of a particular software. That is what you call piracy. Right. What's the problem, Suzu? Right. So 1 mark is given for the explanation of privacy, and 1 mark is given for the explanation of piracy. Right. See how much you got out of it. And the part B, they are asking about the mobile computing. Right. So it's better you say mobile computing refers to the use of small and portable computing devices. So that small and portable computing devices, that should be the term that you should use. In wireless enabled networks that provides wireless connection to central main server. Right, those are the points that you need to say when they are talking about the mobile computing. Right. So if you are not clear with this, it's better you write it down, the definition. Right? Take a minute and go with the definition. Yeah, Nalindi, in the book, I think the major factors were there. Let me check too. Yes, Lalini gives the same definition to it, gives the same meaning, right? Transmission of data, voice, and video. And when the answer says use of small and portable computing devices to do the communication type of thing. Never mind, never mind. That can be taken as well, no worries. Right? Data, voice, and video via a computer or any other wireless enabled device without having to be connected to a fixed physical link. Right? It gets the same way. Without connected to a fixed physical link means it's a wireless communication. So they are wirelessly connecting as well as doing the communication through the mobile devices, so like the wirelessly connecting devices. No worries, you can take that as well. Right. And the next one is about the yeah. A semiconductor manufacturing company has branches in Japan, USA. At present, representative of the development team should visit other branches of the company frequently to discuss their technical issues. Over the years, the company has realized this mechanism is costly and time consuming. As an ICT student, suggest an ICT-based method to conduct these technical review meetings without visiting the other branches. Yeah, so hold on. You want to take to where? Oh, okay. You can take it. No. Okay, hold on. Lamai vinari then lamai. Why is that? I'm tired. Okay, I agree with you. Right, people. So the suggestion should be the video conference without visiting here and there. They can take the same meetings using video conferencing. And they are asking you to list down the devices, right? Name 3 essential ICT devices required for the method suggested in one above. So they are asking about the devices. So you should say for the internet connection, a network device must be there. A router, right? An audio or video device. So you have to say microphone, webcam, speakers, or a headset, or headphones. Then you have to say computer or a server, right? So for those things, you are given with 3 marks, right? Don't say internet connection. Internet connection is not a device, right? You have to go with router. You can take the webcam, no worries. Yes, Randy. Okay, people, see how much you got out of 40 and let me know as well. And give me a minute, people. Right, Lalindi, that's a good mark. How about others?